Some Prabhus.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण
माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
प्रणाम माता जी,
दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Pranam. Yeah, Mangalacharan prayers. Uma Mataji wanted to recite. Please do it, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Hare Krishna.
अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपमगदामह्यं ददाति स्वपान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीवैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं
Okay. It is Sri Gurun Vaishnavams.
श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगगण ललिता कान्वितांश श्री हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपिका गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
Hare Krishna.
Frequently only we will get used to that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Today we will be seeing Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 5th verse. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtatya karma krit कार्यते हि अवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृति जैर गुणैः। जिगीषा माता जी, please chant the verse.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। न हि कश्चित् क्षणम् अपि जातु तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशं कर्म सर्व प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः। हरे
राघवन प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Yes.
नाहि कश्चित् क्षणम् अपि जातु तिष्ठते अक्रमकृत् कार्यते हि अवश्य कर्म सर्व प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः। हरे कृष्ण।
श्री विद्या माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः। हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
श्री सुमलता माता जी and then Srinivasan Prabhu. Yeah.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत् कार्यते हि अवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
नहि कश्चित् क्षणम् अपि जातु तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत् कार्यते हि अवशः कर्म सर्व प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः।
Yes, B. Raghav.
हरे कृष्ण।
Who has raised the hand to chant or for something else? B. Raghav.
It's Bharti. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. हाँ,
Yes.
हरे कृष्ण। नहीं कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत्
Yes.
जातु तिष्ठति कर्मकृत् कार्यते हि अवशः कर्म सर्व Prakriti Jar
Gunai.
Gunai. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Mataji, didn't get it right.
I'll read Mataji.
Mataji, 1 second. Somebody by CM has raised the hand.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, read that.
नहि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जागोदिष्टित्य कर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वप्रकृतिचैतुनैः.
Yeah, Bindu Mataji, read.
नहि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत् कार्यते हि अवश्य कर्म सर्वस्य प्रकृति जैतुने. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare
Now,
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Indra Mataji,
Hare
read.
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah,
न
read
हि
Indra Mataji.
कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः. हरे
Kalpana
कृष्ण.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit karyate hai avashah karma sarva prakriti jai gunaihi. Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Na, nor, he, certainly, kashchit, anyone, shanam, a moment, api, also, jatu, at any time, tishtati, remains, akarmakrit, without doing something, karyate, is forced to, he, certainly, avasha, helplessly, karma, work, sarvaha, all, prakriti jaihi, born of the modes of material nature, gunaihi, by the qualities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. So, in continuation, Vijay Mataji, you raised your hand. Okay. So, in continuation from the previous verse, it is mentioned in the previous verse, we saw that simply by abstaining from work, you will not be free from karmic reaction. And also by complete renunciation, it's not possible that you attain perfection. Just by giving up your activity or not doing anything will not free you from reactions or will not help you to attain perfection. That's what Krishna said. And today he says, why so? Because we cannot give up activities, we cannot be, still or not doing anything for a long time. Why? Because in this verse, Krishna says, everyone is forced. The word is, he is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. So, kshanam, a moment, api also, jatu, at any time, tishtati, remain, akarmakrit, without doing anything. So, it is not possible for the soul, for the jiva, to remain without doing anything. Even for a minute, it cannot stay without doing anything. Does everybody agree with this?
Yes Mataji. Yes Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Physically, maybe you will stop your movement, you will sit in a place, you will not do things. But how about the mind? Can it be still for a moment?
No
Mataji.
Mataji.
Always wandering, Mataji.
Yes. So some or the other thoughts will be there, some or the other ideas, some or the other desires will be there. Then automatically after a point you will act. You will be forced to act. And that's why karyatehi avashaha karma. Certainly karyate, it is forced. Avashaha, helplessly karma, it has to act. Why? Prakriti jai, born of the modes of material nature, gunai, by the qualities. So here, we know that we are embodied souls, that is, we are the souls who have got this gross material body, being in this material body. And in this material world, we are under the influence of the trigunas. So trigunas are acting on us every second, every moment. Kusumalata Mataji, you can mute. They are acting on us. The modes are acting on us. So because the modes act on us, we are compelled to act. Modes are actually it's like, guna. Guna actually means a quality. So based on the quality we have acquired, we will act. Guna also in Sanskrit means ropes. So the jiva is bound by ropes of these three material qualities. And like if a rope is tied to something or somebody, then the one who is controlling it can make this person like a puppet in the hand and make it move or dance or whatever it is. So trigunas are the ropes which are holding the jiva in this material world and are forcing the jiva to act in certain ways. And these trigunas, see, in whichever mode you are, you have acquired it based on your previous janma, swabhava, your samskars. In this janma, with knowledge, you can change your swabhava. Then the effect of the modes will gradually reduce. Now the question can be, that means because we are embodied beings, we are in this material world, then we are forced to act because of the modes. But if we become liberated, then we need not act, we can be still. Is it true? After being liberated, we will be in still, we will be, no effect of the modes on us, so we will be still. We need not act, or we will not act.
No, Mataji. No, Mataji. We will be acting. No, Mataji.
Because Sattva is also modes of nature, Mataji.
Mataji, Prabhu, I'm saying about liberated state, where it is Shuddha Sattva, not
No,
even
Mataji.
Sattva Guna. So, in that state, will you be silent? Will there be any activity in the Sattva state?
No, Mataji.
How do we know that there is activity?
Service to the Lord, no?
Yes. So that means activity is not because of the modes that are acting on us. That is why Prabhupada has clearly written in the very first line of the purport, it is not a question of embodied life. Why? That means after liberation we all will become still? No. But it is the nature of the soul to be always active. Activity is there in the soul itself. It is not because of the influence of the modes or because of being in this material world. Activity is there in the soul. And that proof is when the soul is not in the body is dead body, it cannot act. So the soul is the nature, the inert nature of the soul is that it is always active. It cannot stop even for a minute.
So the soul is tied up with the rope, the Triguna's rope.
In the material world. In the material world, it is tied up by the rope. In the sense, the influence of the Trigunas are acting on the jiva.
And that is because of the Maya Shakti, no?
Mataji, material energy consists of these three modes, which influence the jiva. So Maya is consisting of these three modes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay,
Krishna, why is he telling Arjun that you cannot abstain from work? Because even if you force yourself to sit quiet, you cannot. Because the very nature of the soul is that it is always active. So, whatever nature you are born into, you will start acting like that or under the influence of that particular mode. And then you cannot stop. So, what should one do? That is why Prabhupada writes in the purport that a spirit soul, that is why, has to engage itself in Krishna conscious activities. Otherwise, he will be into spiritual activities. Otherwise, he will be engaged in material activities which are dictated by Maya. So, it is that activity is there in the soul. The nature of soul is activity. Being in the material world, the modes are directing that activity in a different way so that the soul remains entangled. But if the soul can cross over the Trigunas and come to its original state, then the direction of the activities for the soul is different. It will take up its occupational duty. It's very, very original dharma, that is service to the Lord. So modes direct the soul's activity to entanglement, and if you rise above the modes, then your activity will be the pure activities of the soul, that is service to the Lord. So Prabhupada writes, because the soul has come in touch with the material energy, it has acquired these modes. But if you purify it, your affinities and inclinations will change and you will take up your prescribed duty. And what is the natural prescribed duty? Serving the Lord. That is our natural function. The original, eternal, occupational duty is service to the Lord. And from Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada quotes, if someone takes to Krishna conscious, even though he may not be following the prescribed duties in the Shastra or executing the devotional service properly, even though he may fall down from the standard, there is no loss or evil for him. But if you do bhakti, in the sense you are surrendered to the Lord and you're doing your spiritual activities, though sometimes you may fall down in your spiritual pursuit, you may fall down in your doing your prescribed duties, you may be doing your devotional service improperly maybe, but there is no loss or evil because you have started that journey, you are on that path. So gradually, initially, there may be obstacles or you may not do it perfectly, but gradually as you progress, the path becomes easier and you will purify and attain perfection. So, but he writes from Srimad Bhagavatam, but if he carries out all the injunctions for purification in the Shastras, what does it avail him if he is not Krishna conscious? Tatpasa dharmam charanambujam harer bhajan apakvo ata pathe tatho yadi yatrakva abhadram abhud amushya kim kovartha apto bhajatam swadharmatah. But if you do all the purification processes, you do this sacrifice, that austerity, that's all the karma kanda activities, you do this atonements, some prayashchittas for purification. But if you are not Krishna conscious, if you are not surrendered to the Lord, of what use it is? So does that mean that whatever purifications are mentioned in Shastra, is it wrong?
No, it will enhance the bhakti.
Yes. See, the purificatory processes, Prabhupada writes, is necessary for reaching this point of Krishna conscious, where you will be able to surrender to the Lord. And after surrendering, you start doing your bhakti processes. So purification is important. That means following the rules and regulations of Shastra. Now in our sadhana bhakti, we say regulative principles. They are important. But following them is not the end. I am living a regulated life. I don't do sinful activities is not the end. If somebody says, I'm a good person, I'm not doing any sin, I'm following all rules and regulations, what is the purpose of doing it? To be in this world? If you're doing all this to be in this world, then the purpose is not served. Because the purpose of human life is to attain perfection. So if you do all the purification processes, you follow all prescribed rules and regulations, fine. But apart from that, you have to elevate yourself. And that is become Krishna conscious. So the process, Prabhupada says, sannyasa or any purificatory process is to help reach the ultimate goal of becoming Krishna conscious. So all these purificatory processes, following the varna, ashrama, dharma, everything are the stepping stones for our spiritual practice. That is not the end. And that very philosophy that, I am doing good, I am being good, so that is enough for me, is a wrong understanding, wrong conclusion. Be good, do good, it's good, but it is only the stepping stone. It is only the fundamental rule one has to follow. And one has to go beyond this. And if you don't become Krishna conscious, if you don't follow your spiritual path, then you have wasted a human life. So what is the use of doing good, being good? Okay, you have acquired punya karmas. In the next life, maybe you will have a very good life. You will have a very prosperous life. And beyond that, no. But you are not out of these entanglements. You will be bound in this material world. So it is very important that because our nature is that we have to be active, we will be active. So that activity, whatever we are engaging in or indulging in, we have to dovetail it to service of the Lord. Otherwise, we are bound, we will be serving Maya. If you don't serve Krishna, you will serve Maya. Service is the nature of the soul. Activity is the nature of the soul. You cannot sit still doing nothing. Either you serve Lord or you serve Maya. So this body actually, material body is a vehicle. The soul is using this body to be in this material world. But which direction it has to go, the soul has to choose. So the soul has to redirect its energy. From wherever it is now, it has to redirect it to the Supreme Absolute Truth. And for that, purification is a process. Engage your mind in sadhana, bhakti, chanting, reading, remembering, so that mind is not distracted or getting attached to any material things. That is the purpose. Yes. Is this clear? Is this verse clear to everybody?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, the soul is active actually, right? But
Yes.
when rishis or sannyasis, they are doing penance, what is the state of the soul then?
Mataji, they are the souls who have absorbed their mind in the Lord. So they are sitting still, but in their mind, the activity is that they are meditating on the Lord. That activity is going on there.
Oh.
See, the mind they have absorbed in the Lord. That activity is going on. They must be physically not moving, even they are not opening their eyes, but the mind is working, their conscious is working.
Okay.
See, that's why you see Vishwamitra. He was meditating for 10,000 years. Menaka, somebody came, then immediately he got distracted. How? Not completely under control. His mind was not under control. So, the moment he heard a sound or he saw a song, he heard a song or something, he just opened his eyes and he saw Menaka dancing or Urvashi dancing and he got distracted and he fell down, Mataji. So, the activity is not that physical activity, it is the mental activity.
Oh, the senses were not in control.
Yes. He was trying to control his senses. He was doing tapasya for 10,000 years, but one small distraction and he fell down. So there is activity going on. Even if you close your eyes, even if you are just sitting still, the activity of the mind is going on. In the heart, so many desires may be there. Even while closing your eyes, you may be thinking of so many things. So activity is going on.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yes. Is this clear to everybody?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Sudesh Prabhu. Yes.
It's clear, Mataji. Thank you. It's clear.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to know that we are going to be active. So we have to just redirect our activity to the Lord. That is the conclusion of Prabhupada. Prabhupada always gives the conclusion of Gita. And that is what he's telling. Become Krishna conscious. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I have a small question. Pertaining to chanting. Now, supposing we go outstation for 4-5 days, right? And one of the family members forget to take their japamala.
Yeah.
So, can we share the japa with that after we finish? Can we give a name?
No. That can never be done, Mataji. Each person's japmala has to be his own personal thing. It cannot be shared.
Yes. That's only I want to just clarify.
They can chant on a clicker, they can chant on their fingers, or they can take a calculator and chant if they have forgotten, but no exchanging or no lending of japmalas.
Okay.
It is not at all, not advised. No, it is wrong. You cannot do it, Mataji.
Because that's your property. It belongs to you.
That's all.
Mataji,
Japamala carries your karmas, positive, negative, and you're washing them away. So you will transfer all that to them.
Oh. I was going to ask if you have done that, Mataji.
What, Mataji?
what if that has happened?
It's okay. Unknowingly you have done it, so leave it.
Used
Otherwise, you
before.
should not share the Japmalas, Mataji.
This morning only this thought came to me, Mataji. Sometimes we keep on thinking about so many things.
Sadhana mala. Sadhana mala, if you have got from your guru, or even if you have not got from your guru, but you are chanting on it daily, your karmas are tied to it, Mataji.
Okay.
So, that's why
Share
you are not
counter, Mataji.
Huh?
Mantra counter.
Counters you can exchange, that's fine, Mataji. Counters are fine, not the Japamala.
Okay, thank you.
Mataji, on that subject, I forgot what I was going to ask now.
What, Mataji?
On that subject, if you have shared the mala, and also why, if it's not
okay,
covered
If
in
you
the
have done
bag,
it once, if you have done it once, you have shared, it's fine, Mataji. In future,
It
don't
is.
do it.
And can you wear them? Can you wear the mala?
No. They say don't wear it on you. I mean, you can put it on in the beads bag and wear the bag, not the mala.
Yeah, not
No,
the mala.
you should not.
If you're chanting, not to wear the mala during
No.
chanting.
No. You're not supposed to wear the japamala like that. You can put it in the bead and bead bag, and then just hang that bag around your neck, Mataji.
That's what I was thinking. But at one point, somebody said you can wear it and chant it. But
No. Better is, Mataji, Prabhupada used to say, Prabhupada used to say, hide the bead mala in the bag. Otherwise, devatas are going to steal it. So you are
that's
not
another
supposed to
question
show.
I was going to ask. Why does it have to be in the bag, and why can't you do it openly?
Because if you chant properly, a certain energy is generated and it has to be absorbed in your body. If you just leave it open, then it is scattered everywhere, Mataji. Nama is the energy. Nama is an energy. Lord has invested all his energy. So you have to absorb that energy, Mataji.
Nama and Krishna is one and the same.
Same. So if you leave Krishna open, then he'll go everywhere, Mataji.
Mataji, I find it difficult to hide and count, Mataji. How to practice it?
Prabhu, then maybe little bit you remove and sit in a place, and from you can see the bead mala, and then one by one you chant, Prabhu. Don't have to keep everything open.
Oh, Mataji, there's another one I want to ask when you finish.
Yeah.
You know, when you finish the mala, I didn't know about this because I've done so many for years now. That you don't carry on after the master bead. You have to change the...
Yes. Turn it. Yes.
Yeah, I've never done that till only last couple of months. I didn't know that till I heard it.
Yeah, you unknowingly did it, Mataji, so it's fine.
Does that mean they count it or they don't count? Because I've said the Guru Mala, Guru bead, you don't go past it. If you go past, what happens?
Yeah, actually, Mataji, it's during the sadhana you are doing all these mistakes, but Krishna is seeing the sincerity. So you leave it to Krishna whether it will count it or not count it, but at least now you have come to realize it, now you do it properly, Mataji. Yes.
Mataji, any procedure is there that you have to change the mala after sometimes, or as long as it is intact, you can use it forever? As long as it is there,
you can use it. Unless and until it is broken, the bead is broken or something has worn out, then you can change it. But if whatever mala you have got from your guru, you have to keep it as it is. You cannot change it.
Even if it is damaged, you have to keep it.
Mala?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Prabhu?
Can we wash the mala?
Wait, 1 second, Mataji. Prabhu, what did you say?
No, Mataji said that if you are received from your guru, you have to keep it forever. Even if it is damaged also, you have to keep it.
Damaged, Prabhu, then you can check with senior devotees what they recommend. To change one particular bead in it, or they can change something. You have to go to the nearest temple and check with the senior devotees there, Prabhu. If one bead is not proper, then you can just fix that bead, Prabhu. Or if the thread has come out and the beads are proper, then you can get same thing rethreaded or get it again.
Which mala, Tulsi mala is the best, Mataji, or there are some other?
Tulsi mala is recommended to take at the time of Diksha from the Guru. Otherwise, neem malas are fine.
Okay, Mataji.
Usually, Tulsi mala the Guru gives during Diksha.
Well, you can buy.
You can buy, but then you have to maintain the standards.
I bought one from the manor, but I just started using it. I had not done anything to it.
Yeah. So if you see, if you are taking Tulsi Mala and you don't do it properly, you end up doing lot of aparats.
Oh, how
That's
do we
right.
know that? I don't know any of that. I just bought one when you went to the manor. And
No
then
problem, Mataji. You did it unknowingly, but it's, of course, Tulsi Devi is all merciful. She will purify also. But then, now that you know, you do it properly, Mataji. That's all.
So what do I do? What do I have to do now?
You chant, Mataji. Chant the Panchatattva mantra and properly take the Prabhupada Pranam mantra. You take the Panchatattva mantra and then you chant properly. Attentively, you chant. That's all, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you
Mataji.
so much.
Yeah.
Mataji, is it okay if we chant on a Chandan Mala? I have already taken it from ISKCON only.
Yeah, Chandan Mala is fine, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Uma Mataji, you asked, can the beads be washed? Yes, Mataji. Unnecessarily, you don't have to wash. But usually when they say you go to pilgrimages, Ganga, Yamuna, they say, okay, wash your beads there to purify it.
Oh, not at home.
No need. You don't have to wash it.
Oh, okay.
Mother direction.
Yes.
You get blessed, Mataji, if you put it in Ganga, River Ganga or Radhakund Shamkund if you take it.
Yes. You can go wash your beads there. You can. But dry it properly so that the beads don't get spoiled. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Sudesh Prabhu, you're saying
Mataji, what's the normal time to take to finish one round?
7.5 minutes, Prabhu.
Okay.
7.5 minutes is the ideal time.
5 minutes is faster. 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Prabhu, you can only make out if you are able to listen to each and every syllable of the mantra properly. If you are good in it, like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Clearly, if you are able to hear, then 5 to 6 minutes is fine. But if you feel you are rushing up some portions, then you have to slow down.
Okay.
I take about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
9 to 10 minutes.
Yes. So if there are no further doubts, we can close.
Lots of questions on Japa Mataji today. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Mata ki jai, Bhagwan ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Vancha
Hare Krishna.